everyone, it's me, Lizette Castaneda with Hotel Industry Talk. I'm so excited to have Taylor Snow here with Connect. Welcome, Taylor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday right now, so I'm excited for
Yeah.
the weekend. Women's March Madness has started. It's the best
Yes.
time of the year. so it's looking good.
Yeah, happy Friday. Now, I'm going to get started with a round of authentic questions. What is your walk-up song?
Okay, I have to think. Okay, so she is an Atlanta native. I'm gonna go with Lotto. I'm gonna do the clean version and the chorus, but Big Mama by Lotto. A lot of my friends I think would agree, so I'd have to go with that.
That's so good. Did you watch the show? Is it Flow? I'm going to mess this up.
Hustle and
Hudson
Flow
Flow.
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, yep.
She was just, I think she was on the last one, right? I think,
Oh,
yeah.
that one, yes. And then she was on, it was a different one that she was on when she was like first starting, and that might have not been Hustle and Flow, but yeah, she was on another one like years and years ago before she kind of blew up.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
in a native?
I am. So I was born in Atlanta. I'm in the burbs now, so I don't technically claim it because,
Uh,
politics of are you inside the perimeter or outside the perimeter? So,
that's so good. I know. I
yeah.
haven't been to Atlanta yet. I mean, I've been to the suburbs because we had
hmm
hotels that I visited, but
Yep.
I really want to go. And there's an event that I possibly am going to try to get to go to. So I'll let you
Let
know.
me know. Call me.
Yeah. So you travel a lot, and I'm
Yep.
sure you've had a lot of incredible experiences. What is a trip that's been transformational for you, and where was that, and why was it transformational?
Yeah, absolutely. I would probably have to say is actually my most recent trip abroad. So one of my best friends and she and I met actually working for the Braves years ago. We started a tradition 2 years ago where we do a big trip every year. And the one that we took this past December was to South Africa, and we went to Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Kruger National Park. And there was just something like super spiritual about it. I don't know what it was, but it was just one of the most beautiful places. I felt like I was at home away from home. It had everything. It had the beaches, the mountains, the desert, it had like wine lands, and it was just like so beautiful. And it's funny too, because while we were there, we actually stayed about 10 minutes from one of the Cape Town arenas or fields, and basically the HSBC Sevens rugby tournament was there, and somehow the USA women's team was playing, and so we got super cheap tickets and we were able to go and watch the tournament. Alona Mara wasn't there, which I was really sad about, but still got to watch the USA women's team, and it was just so cool. Just for me, obviously being in sports and just loving sports in general, that unexpected surprise was really cool. But yeah, there was just something really spiritual about South Africa, and I will absolutely be back.
That's
Absolutely.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. Now, are you a carry-on or check-back person? I'm sure for that you probably checked,
Mm.
but normally for travels.
I will say I did only carry-ons for that one. So it depends. It depends. Typically I try to do carry-on, just not having to deal with the check bag situation. The group that we actually went on with to South Africa, they always recommend doing a carry-on bag because we go like you're only at like a hotel for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then you move, so it's a lot of logistics. And so I did a backpack and a carry-on. I don't typically try to do that. I now am a checked bag person. I need options. I want to bring as many shoes as I please. So it definitely depends, but convenience wise, yeah, absolutely like a carry-on. But I've recently become a checked bag girl, which I would have never expected.
Yeah, I'm checked back all the way. It's so hard to be
Have
carry-on.
to.
And I'm
Have
short,
to.
so I'm like, I can't reach.
No, absolutely. It makes sense.
Yeah. So what's one thing that you have to take on the plane with you?
Okay, so I think a common one would be, say, a book, but for me, it's a handheld fan. One, I'm hot all the time, and I never feel like the air situation goes well on the plane. But unfortunately for me, I get the worst motion sickness, which is horrible for someone that travels a lot and loves to travel. So the handheld fan really helps cool me down. When I get hot, I know I'm about to get a little nauseous. So the hand fan really helps me out. So I always have it in my little cross pouch, and I always like bring it out when I need to.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
so good. I know I need something like that because you're right. I do get nauseous and I have to
hmm
like think about something different. Otherwise, I'm
Yep.
like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be that person that has to use that little bag.
Oh, well, and I do bring one of those little hospital bags. I have
Yeah,
to. I just in case. You never
just in
know.
case.
I did get sick in South Africa on
Aw,
a one of those like big, travel buses or whatever. I did get
yeah.
sick, and that was the first time in a
Aw.
long time I'd actually like thrown up. But yeah, it was.
Oh no, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay. It's really
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Now, what do you do when you first arrive to your hotel?
Mhm. So honestly, because I'm just a girl, I always check
Yeah.
just to make sure that everything is good. I go, I leave the door propped and I go and just check under everything and behind stuff. But once everything's good, then I go in and actually I like to unpack. I hate feeling like I'm living out of a suitcase. So even if I'm only there for like 2 days, I like to just like unpack all my stuff, steam my clothes, hang them up, just so I can just do whatever I need to the rest of the time and not feel like I'm having to rush and find things. So
Yeah.
definitely unpack. For sure.
Okay, now you said steamer. Do you have a travel steamer that you like?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
love my
god.
little handheld steamer. I mean, it's one of the greatest things. That
Yeah.
and a little pilling machine. So if you like
Yeah.
get stuff that pills or whatever, I bring that with me too. It helps elevate the look, and it's just they're really small, so it
Yeah.
doesn't take up too much room. So yeah,
Okay,
definitely need the steamer.
I'm gonna message you after to see what brand because I need
I'll
a
send you the
travel
link.
steamer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. I'll send you the link.
Awesome. Thanks. Now, what are you listening to right now? Do you have like a podcast? Are you reading? I don't know if you're one or the other.
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm more of a reader. I
Okay.
actually have a 50 book goal this year. I just finished 13. Right now, I'm reading. So I decided to reread the Harry Potter series. I
Yeah.
just was like, let me just reread it. So I'm almost done with book 6. I have one more to go after that. But I kind of read a range of stuff. It just depends, self help, women's sports,
Yeah.
fiction, nonfiction. I try to just kind of go through all of them, just keep it fresh. But definitely a big reader. Every once in a while, I will do an audiobook because my commute to and from work when I go in the office 2 days a week is kind of long. So I do love a good audiobook as well.
Okay. Now, are you like in a book club or where are you getting your book recommendations?
Yeah, so every month, so I actually am in a book club with a couple of my girlfriends from college, and we meet once a month. Just whoever can come, it doesn't always work out with travel schedules and all that. But so I always try to read whatever the book club book is, and then I try to read one for my own, whatever that is. So most of the time, it's book club recommendations, and we try to pair it with whatever the theme of the month is, like whether it's like Black History Month or Women's Month or whatever. We try to like kind of like schedule it with that.
So good. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, thanks
Yeah.
so much for sharing. Now we're going to get into actually what you do. So
Okay.
share with everybody what you do with Connect
Yeah.
or even what Connect is.
Yeah, absolutely. So Connect has been around for years. It's Connect and then our sister company Biz Bash. So we run reverse style trade shows for people that run events. So we have different tracks that we work with, whether it's a corporate association, we have Smurf Market as well. And right now I actually get to run our sports programs. So I recruit all of our sports attendees, rights holders. They're usually like amateur youth up to amateur or like that NCAA level. So we recruit all of them to come to our shows, and essentially we just try to help them find new locations for their events, whether it's national tournaments or meetings. And then I also get to help with our sports programming as well. So whether it's like education sessions or networking events, we just try to create, opportunities for people to learn and connect with each other. Luckily, the sports department or the sports industry is pretty small, but we do try to make sure we have opportunities for people to meet new people that they haven't got to come across yet. So we really just try to be a service for people that create events and just provide new opportunities. And on the Biz Bash side, it's a little bit more of like the media or marketing arm. So we also provide different newsletters and white papers. We try to show behind the scenes of events, whether it's like production or venues, just try to give people some inspiration for their events. And I've been with them for almost 3 years now. So it's been really cool. I've learned a lot since being there.
Yeah.
But it's really, really great. And I just, the tourism industry is just probably one of the best industries that I've been in my career. There's just something about it. Everyone is really great. And even though there's only so many places you can go to, it really feels like everyone tries to help each other out. Like there's room for everybody is the feeling that I get on my end of it.
I love that. Now,
Yeah.
did you go to school for it, or you just kind of happened to come across it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I actually went to school for public relations, and
Okay.
I minored in professional writing. But I kind of started off on this. I did start in sports. I worked at a Creative Artist Agency, which is a global agency. I worked in the football department in a city in Atlanta, and did that for a little bit. Went into field marketing, and I was in field marketing for about 8 years, I think, and I was just ready for something new. So I called a girlfriend from college. She had just gotten back from Cannes, France, and she traveled all the time. And so I was like, what are you doing? Like, I need to come do what you're doing. You're traveling, you're doing all this cool stuff and events. And 2 weeks later, I had a job, and I think there's like 6 of us that all were in the same sorority at the same college at the same time. So it's
I love-
basically just a sorority house at this point. But yeah, I just happened to get into it, and luckily a lot of my previous skills and experience kind of overlapped a little bit when it came to the event side of it. Field marketing is events, but just like every single day. So it was a pretty smooth transition into this industry, but I'm very grateful for it because it's been like a dream so far.
Yeah, so much
Yeah.
fun. I love watching all your videos.
Oh, thanks. I try.
Okay. So you've been a driving force in elevating women's sports. So what inspires you to do that?
Well, so I would say, like many people, I did grow up playing sports.
Mhm.
But honestly, I played collegiate. Well, I played club sports when I went to college. I played lacrosse and I did intramural flag football, and I absolutely loved it. And at the time, there wasn't really any place for me to go to after college for lacrosse. So it wasn't really until I was about to graduate college that I realized that there was opportunities outside of just being a professional athlete or working in the front office.
Yeah.
I did have a part-time job with the Braves for about 3 seasons, and that was really where I started to learn that there's all these other things that you can do in the sports space. And so I thought it was great because, I wanted to continue playing sports. I just, I loved it. I didn't really see myself sitting at, a desk in a corporate space,
Mhm.
just, shooting email, and which I do a little bit of that now, I will say. But I wanted to, I
Yeah.
wanted to stay involved. You want your job to be something that you enjoy going to and that you're passionate about. So it took a little bit before I got here, but now that I'm in it, I think it's funny because I was in sports tourism before I even knew what it was. I started playing sports when I was 4 years old, and so being on this side of it now, it's just there's all these things that you have to do before that 4-year-old even gets to get on the field or the court or whatever it is. And so I just love being able to be just a small part of that process of helping people find new locations or start new leagues or teams, especially for girls sports. As everyone knows right now, like the just women and girls sports are absolutely exploding right now. So being able to have a small hand of that is really special to me, and it really helps kind of fuel my purpose and my passion.
So good, so
Yeah.
good. Now I know there's been a lot of changes with like women in sports, in terms of the years and or the opportunities, I should say, and recognition for female athletes.
Mhm.
What changes have you seen in that world, in that space?
Yeah, I would say a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that we are at the point that we could be, but I definitely see that there's a lot more. There's a lot more opportunities that have been provided for women when it comes to making money, being able to be their own brand, media opportunities. So I would say it really kind of does help when it starts at more like that destination or like city level, because that's where these girls are starting to play at. And so providing opportunities and creating resources for them at a young age only really helps the industry and helps those athletes as they grow up. So there's definitely been more opportunities. I would say a lot more women in leadership positions, which is also
Mhm.
important. You need these women in the room to make decisions and to create new opportunities. Most of these women, I don't remember the stats, but it was really high. Most of these women in these leadership positions all played sports when they were younger. And so that just only helps and provides, different experiences. And it's just good business, honestly. So just being able to see more women in those like higher positions have also just helped grow just tremendously.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I know I played sports too, and I
Yeah.
read that stats. I don't know who announced those stats. I can't remember, but it was
Yeah.
yeah, it was so good though because that shows the importance of sports, right? Especially
Absolutely.
girls in sports. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's talk about back to what you do and how you support attendees. That shows. Can you tell me more about how that, like, what that looks like in terms of your support for attendees?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my title is director of sports. So, anything that
Mhm.
covers sports, whether it's on the Connect sports side or the Biz Bash sports side, kind of goes through me. So, I would say like the main part of my job is recruiting attendees for Connect sports and for Biz Bash sports. So, that's reaching out, making sure that they're qualified, helping them fill out our application process. As some of us know, some of these applications to come to shows are a little bit lengthy, providing information, seeing, what they need for their events, whether it's how many fields or courts, or if they need assistance financially, whatever the case is. So, really just getting them recruited and helping them along the process, especially if it's their first time attending, just making sure that they feel prepared and equipped to take on the show. So it can be a little overwhelming. Some of these events are massive, and if it's their first time, it can be a little overwhelming. So just making sure they feel comfortable. And then I also get to help plan our sports programming. I talked a little bit about it earlier, but just creating education sessions that are relevant not only to our sports attendees, but also just our events attendees in whole. Whether it's creating new opportunities on the level for like girls sports, or even just junior sports to begin with. And then also creating really cool, fun, unique networking opportunities for people. Something that is really unique about the sports space is that a lot of them, yes, they do like doing those one-on-one appointments, but the business really gets done later on at those like networking events or those bars or whatever the case is. So just creating a really cool opportunity and kind of taking away that awkwardness of, the sitting across the table. Getting them out and about is really important to me. So just making sure that we kind of do a lot of the work for them, and so that when they come, they just it's like flawless and effortless, and they just can enjoy themselves and network.
Yeah, and I talked to Brian Werner. I don't know. I'm sure you know Brian. Yeah. Okay.
It's one of my
Yeah. Okay.
favorites.
So Brian, he said something. So I have to share this because I had interviewed him as well, and he said it would be really cool to allow for us to, or connect to have college students come in. So like those college students who maybe they're not going to play pro sports, but to see our industry and kind of shadow people and shadow the rights holders and sit with them to understand the business. And I'm like, yes, that is amazing.
Yes.
So put that on your radar because I think that would be
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely. That's definitely one of my like passion projects on the side, is like mentoring and creating, because I wish there's so many things now. I wish I would have had a fraction of those opportunities in college. So yes, I absolutely love that idea. Thank you, Brian. We'll chit chat. Love it. So good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, in what ways has networking shaped your career and to where you are today?
Yeah, networking has been honestly everything to me. I've been extremely lucky that every job I've ever had has been through a connection or like someone I've known. Obviously, I had to prove myself and, actually interview, but that opportunity came from just because I knew somebody, whether it was, a college friend or someone that I had met at a previous job. So honestly, just making a good impression and maintaining genuine relationships is kind of like the key point of it. I think a lot of the times networking can seem very transactional. So I was given advice very early on is to make sure that I'm actually building real relationships with people, and not just for the sake of like, what can you give me, but like, how can I help you, or how can we mutually help each other? But aside from that, it's also just helped me create, lifelong friends and people that I would consider friends. Brian Werner's one of them. Just being able to, like, even just like follow each other on Instagram and see what they're doing and just get to encourage and uplift one another. It honestly makes our jobs feel more personal, and makes a lot of our clients and attendees even just feel like family, being able to have those relationships and about their families and what they're doing and the vacation that they went on. And so it's networking honestly is, I think, can sometimes get like a weird reputation, but if done the right way, it can really help you and in your connections as well. And another thing, I think this more so, I feel like it's been around obviously for a while, but more so recently, be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has worked wonders for me. I spend a little bit of time every day on LinkedIn, just, looking at brands or looking at people whose, jobs seem really cool. And I always do it in like a just a curious way, like looking to see what other people are doing. And honestly, LinkedIn's great. You can kind of curate, what your feed looks like. So I love anything sports related, women's sports. So I like following brands that, provide like different statistics about what's going on in women's sports. And just little things like that, being able to support people. And you really never know what one post or one message could do. It could help create an opportunity for you, or it could help somebody else. So even LinkedIn, doing that virtual networking is still very, very important in my opinion.
Yeah, hands down, LinkedIn. I'm like, that is such
Oh
a
yeah.
powerful tool. And
Mhm.
it's I learned about social selling, and that's something, if you want to look at it from the sales lens, I feel
Mhm.
like going back to networking, but it's about how can we build authentic relationships through LinkedIn? And you can.
Yep.
It's engaging, right? It's
Yep.
making sure you're engaging with your clients, your
Mhm.
friends, and reposting and sharing. And so
Yeah.
really good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn.
Oh, me too. And like, there's something someone had said one time, and it's like, be known before you're needed. And even just that
Yeah.
creating that network, then like at some point in time, it's going to come back for you.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
love that. Now going back to women in sports, so we see that they're continuing to break barriers,
Mhm.
which we're really excited about. What
Mhm.
challenges have you faced along the way, and what advice would you give to other women looking to make an impact in our industry?
Yeah, I will say I've been extremely lucky to not have had many obstacles because of the way that I've been able to get jobs. I've at least known some people there that have been able to help me or tell me, like, yes, this is a good fit for you, or no, this isn't a good fit for you. So, kind of getting that insider information before I even get to that position. So, I will say I've been very lucky in that case, but I do recognize my privilege in that. That is not the case for all women, or specifically women of color either. But
Mhm.
because of this, I really try to use my influence. If it
Yeah,
gets me into the room and into the, if it gets me a seat at the table, then that's
yeah,
great. And I will
yep.
use that influence to be able to bring other women or other women of color on, into the room to begin with. But for women that are looking to make an impact, I will say it's kind of simple. Just take up space. Just be there.
It's good.
If there's
Yeah.
something that you're interested in, go for it. Don't let so and so say, I don't think you can do that. Just do
Yeah.
it. Just try it. Build real relationships. Seek out mentors. Look to when you're ready. Look to be a mentor, and find ways to pay it forward. But the more that we uplift and support one another, the stronger our presence in the industry becomes. So it's simple in theory, but yeah, just take up space and just be authentic in it.
Yeah, no, that's really great advice. Now, going back to like our destinations,
Mhm.
how do you think that hotels and destinations can better position themselves to cater to this growing market for women's sports?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So okay, this is kind of a pitch. So any
Yeah,
destinations that hear
yeah.
this, call me.
Go.
I would love to be a part of it. So one of the biggest opportunities that I see in women's sports tourism is the rise of like destination influencer trips. I feel like
Mhm.
this has been largely untapped, but think of it as like basically a fam trip like we have in
Yeah.
the events industry. And kind of similar to like the influencer trips you see on, like TikTok and Instagram, where a brand kind of takes a group of influencers to an island and they do all, wine and dine them and all this. I think that there should be something for destination influencer trips where a destination brings in, whether it's like media personalities, influencers, content creators, but like in the sports space, bringing them to the destination. This is an opportunity for the destination to work with hotels, local women, or minority owned businesses. And this is a great opportunity for them to show their commitment to women and girls sports. They can highlight local leagues, they can do venue tours, they can curate like really tailored experiences for those influencers, or just attendees in general. And it can be surrounded around sporting events. I see that does happen often when you see, the All Stars or the big, the NCAA, the March Madness. You see this happening, but this could be something that's done outside of those large, sporting event moments. They can also do different like wellness and fitness activities,
Yeah.
showcasing, boutique fitness centers that they have. If they have really cool outdoor adventures that they're able to offer, that kind of aligns with like women's interests when they travel. I will say that I feel, especially for me and like my friend group and my age group, I feel like a lot of us are increasingly becoming more independent when it comes to our travel decisions. And there's a major, or I would say there's a major opportunity, honestly, for cities and hotels to lean into this like experiential
Yeah.
sports specific travel to create lasting impressions like outside of just like the sports, the game day or whatever. Like we want to travel somewhere where yes, we can, go have fun and have a good time, but we also want to see the cool stuff. We want to go to games. We want to go see really cool venues. We want to see what that city's doing specifically for girls and women in sports. So I think there's really untapped market for that.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. If you're interested, call me. I got you. We'll figure it out. But
I
I
know.
think it'd
I'm
be really
like,
cool.
yeah, I'm like, destinations, are you listening? I'm actually
Hello.
going to take this bit and put it out there for
Perfect.
you.
Perfect.
So,
I think it's great. I just,
yeah,
people love traveling and there's, obviously, people go on vacation, there's the typical, the mountains, the beach, but this creates a really cool opportunity for doing something different.
yeah, actually an incredible idea. And I'm thinking about back to like the hotels that I support and the markets I support. And I'm like, okay, how can, especially the destinations that have a cluster of properties, right? Everybody can get together and honestly, they can budget it out together for the following year. So I definitely think there is a way to do it. Now let's talk about some trends looking ahead. Do you see shaping the future? Like, what do you see shaping the future for women tourism and sports and hospitality?
So I think that a lot of destinations will start. I think now, especially with social, sorry, I'm like trying to figure out how to word this. So I think like authenticity at the end of the day, people are really starting to sniff out who is being authentic and who is not being authentic, who's doing it for social media and who actually means it. So I was actually at a conference a few weeks ago, and this was a conversation that was had with a couple of teams, and they were talking about the authenticity when it comes to doing these initiatives, and they had made a great point. It's like these cities and teams, they need to be partnering with local organizations that are already doing the work and that they're interested in tapping into, whether it's like women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, whatever the case is, like working with those local organizations to create those really special moments, whether it's at like the sporting event or just with the city alone, whether it's like festivals or whatever the case is. So I think that a lot more of these teams and leagues specifically are looking to be more authentic in their reach out to new consumers. I think there's like a completely untapped market when it comes to like consumers that you wouldn't really think. Another thing that people are doing, sorry, I'm speaking more on like the sports lens, but a lot of these teams are doing these new themes nights. Like again, at this conference, they were talking about like Hello Kitty night. That's mostly a different consumer group than you would normally have. And they held a Hello Kitty night. Their engagements were up an insane amount. They were completely sold out. Their merch sold out. So I think just kind of like creating these new opportunities and bringing in these new consumer groups that aren't your typical, sports enthusiasts. So I think that's kind of what I see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Now, I don't want to end soon, but I'm like, oh no, like,
I'll talk fast.
I know, I could keep going. What's been the most rewarding moment in your career so far, and what legacy do you hope to leave in the world of sports and events?
I would say one of the most rewarding moments in my career is honestly like where I'm at right now. I kind of touched on it a little bit, but I have never felt more aligned in my purpose than I do right now. I think, I get to work alongside some of the most amazing people and the people that kind of that create these experiences that I grew up participating in, the events that really shaped my childhood and my career to date. As for my legacy, I want to be remembered for making the industry a better place, not just through my work, but also providing opportunities for women and people of color who might not have had the opportunity otherwise. I know there's a lot of, things right now with policy changes, but I really would like to create, more inclusive space for people and especially students. I've been joining a lot of organizations. I'm the president of an organization called Black Sports Professionals. And with Atlanta, we have a number of HBCUs in our city. And so just reaching out to those HBCUs and even just like showing them what opportunities are out there. I always recommend sports tourism because it's something that you can do pretty much anywhere, no matter where you live. Your city has some type of something, whether it's in brand partnerships, whether it's in, events or sales, there's something for everybody. So I just want to be the person that creates opportunities for people and makes the industry, a little bit better than it was when I started.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. And you're already doing so much, especially like I said, college students, people trying to find out what's next. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much, to
Oh
your
yeah.
point, there's a lot in our space, and we welcome everybody who wants to be in this
Yes.
space to learn.
Yes.
So thank you for being an advocate. Is there anything else you want to leave anybody, any advice or tips that you want to share?
Um, Honestly, I would just say again, like I want to also thank you. I kind of told you off this, but I think it's really special what you're doing, and I love that you're telling the stories of the people that are behind the scenes. I think a lot of the times people in the events or hospitality industry, they don't really get the recognition that they deserve as consumers. You only see kind of the front end of it, and you never get to see all the hard work that goes on behind it. So I just want to thank you for sharing those stories, and for the people that are behind the scenes, like y'all make all the difference. And I think there's something really selfless about being behind the scenes. Being in front of the scenes is also, great, but there's just something really cool about the people that put on, all the stuff behind the curtains, all the chaos that ensues. So be authentic, make sure you do what you love. You want to wake up every day being passionate about it. And if you're not, even a passion project can work. So yeah, so thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for everybody listening in. I will be sharing this on LinkedIn, all of my social media handles. And yeah, thank you again, Taylor. I
Thank
will
you.
talk to you soon.
Awesome.
Bye.
Sounds good. Thank you.